My name's Melissa Mead and I live in Penryn in Cornwall. William was the most calm and measured little boy. He would sit and happily play. Every smile, every little gesture was warm, was loving, and his little laugh was totally infectious. He just didn't seem right. There was something that wasn't quite right. And I walked in and I was sort of saying, "William, William," and he didn't respond. And I leaned over and I stroked his cheek, and it was warm, but he didn't stir. And I knelt down and put my arm through the bar of the cot, and his hands were quite cool to touch. He didn't move, and I got up and I stroked his side, and he was stiff. I opened the curtains and he had very obviously died. I just started screaming. I shouted to Paul, "He's not breathing, he's not breathing." And I ran in and I got the phone. And Paul ran in to the cot. I ran downstairs to open the door for the paramedics. And he got him out of the cot and he laid him on the floor, and he was still in the position he'd died in because he had rigour. And I can remember the call handler 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 giving him chest compressions. I couldn't open his jaw to give him rescue breaths because he was in rigour. And I can remember the paramedics thundering up the stairs at 3 minutes and 44 seconds into the call because I was concentrating on the phone. And they took over. And watching resuscitation on a child is so violent. His little body was just so fragile. And I can remember the paramedic turning over his left shoulder to me, and the next 7 words that he said just destroyed me. "I'm sorry, my love, but he's gone." 7 minutes from the phone call, he was pronounced dead. They tried to take me out of the room because I was absolutely just distraught, but I needed to be with him. And I laid next to him on his floor of his nursery with my cheek on his, and I begged him to wake up. And I knew that he wouldn't. Paramedics took us to the hospital where William was examined. And we had to give statements. We had him baptised, and then at about 3:10 in the afternoon they came and said, "We've got to take him away now." I said, "Where are you taking him?" And they said, "The morgue." And I thought, it's just not right. I said, "I'll carry him myself." And I carried him all the way through the hospital. And I stood outside those big grey doors, and the chap come out, and I said, "You'll have to take him and you'll just have to walk away because I can't." I just said, "Please look after him," and I just lost it. The coroner rang me and said, the first thing she said was, "Did William have a cough?" And I did a little nervous laugh because I was like, "Yeah, he did. He'd had a cough for a number of weeks, like 7 or 8 weeks, and we'd taken him into the doctors 5 times for it. And obviously we had these numerous telephone calls as well." And she said, "Well, there's going to be an inquest." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, the post-mortem has shown us that William had double pneumonia, and he had a collapsed lung. He had a pleural effusion in his left lung cavity. He had an abscess in his upper lung lobe. He had heavy inner and outer ear infection, and he died of multiple organ failure. There was a root cause analysis report done by NHS England, which found that at every presentation of William there was a mistake. There were 16 failings in his care. His temperature, as we know, was 40.1, but his respiratory rate wasn't measured, his capillary refill wasn't done, his heart rate wasn't done. So basic observations that could have shown a red flag situation and an immediate referral to hospital simply fell by the wayside. What was found is that every presentation of William was looked at in isolation as opposed to a chronology of events that was leading a journey. And we had been in multiple times about the same thing. I would like to see a heightened awareness around parental concern. So if you're a clinician and you've got a parent or carers coming to you with concerns about their child and it's the same illness or seemingly the same illness, you have to take their worries on board, because ultimately they're spending 24 hours a day with their young ones or their loved ones. There is so much hype on doctor knows best. And you know, sometimes they do, but no one knows William better than I do. So if I'm telling you he's just not right, that means he's just not right, and that shouldn't be questioned. We didn't get any safety netting advice. Our safety netting advice was, don't worry, it's nothing grisly. I don't think you can get any more grisly than sepsis, to be honest. With everything that I do and everywhere that I go, I always try and keep William at the centre of everything. And we have the added benefit that we're able to bring our teddy bear along with us, which has his ashes inside. We can never forget the subject at the centre of this, and that's a little boy who is just 1 year old and he lost his life. And so I always try and take the bear with me so that people can see that the driving force behind this is him. I know that every single day I told him that I loved him, and I know that the last words that he ever heard me whisper were, "I love you, sweetheart." For us, William is just a memory, and you can't hug memories. Think sepsis. William could have and should have been saved with better care. Think sepsis. William didn't know anger, blame or regret. I don't want to create a legacy for him based on those things. Think sepsis. He now lives on in the thousands of lives that he's saved. Think sepsis. I was blessed to be his mum, and he's my hero. Please don't let there be other little Williams. Please remember to think sepsis.